All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Transformational Tuesdays, everybody. I'm so super excited. This week, I am beyond excited to welcome Jamila Gomez. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Hey, thank you so
The
much for having
Transformational.
me. Yeah.
Yes, you're so welcome. Jamila is not only a crisis counselor and mindfulness coach from Lithonia, I hope I said that right, Georgia, but she is also a woman who knows what it means to truly sit with people in their hardest places. She has dedicated her life walking alongside others in moments that often feel heavy, confusing, and lonely, and she does it with such grace, empathy, and strength. Jamila is also the host of the Messy Middle podcast, where conversations are raw, unfiltered, and deeply honest. She dives into in between spaces of life, the ones we don't always talk about, but where so much growth and healing can happen. And her next book, y'all, we're gonna get into that a little later, but it's called The Weight of Light that is released in October 7th. It's a powerful
Yay.
reflection on healing, resilience, and delicate balance of carrying both pain and possibility at the same time. And it's about choosing to keep going even when the journey feels hard, and learning that even in the wait there is light. Outside of her professional work, Jamila finds a lot of joy in the little things like popping bubble wrap. Who don't like that, y'all? When stress builds up, losing herself in Sudoku and word search puzzles. These simple joys remind us that even though even in life's chaos, we can ground ourselves in the small, beautiful moments. And y'all, long and behold, okay, let's welcome our girl, Jamila.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Amen. Yes, I love that I have you here as well. God is so good. I love bringing new faces on here because there's a lot of people out here who's doing a lot of beautiful things, and I like to showcase that. I like to start off a little bit with some fun icebreaker questions, just so the audience can know a little bit about you. But if you could only choose one puzzle for the rest of your life, Sudoku or word search, which one are you keeping? Why?
I have been doing word searches since I was probably in first grade, and I don't think that that's anything that I'm ever going to really let go because it's just
Okay.
so, it comes so easy for me to do. So I would probably choose the word searches because they are so easy and I've been doing them for so long, but I do like a challenge every once in a while, so I'd probably sneak in a Sudoku puzzle every now and then, just to spice it up a little bit.
Man, you better than me because with the Sudokus, I'll get irritated and be like, skip it, word search. Because I'm like, I get frustrated. I'm like, dang, I can't figure it out. What is it? Just look
Yeah,
at the.
it can get very frustrating very quickly,
Yep,
but
exactly. I love that. Okay, here's the second question of icebreaker. Since you love popping bubble wrap, girl, what's another stress reliever or quirky stress reliever that always make you laugh and put a smile on
that's a good question. I'm kind of like a marathon watcher of, certain shows. So I like to binge watch stuff like Martin and The Cosby Show and A Different World and things. I'm very heavy on the TV One type of shows.
your face?
Um, so it's not necessarily that it's like fun or anything like that. It just relaxes me and
Yeah.
it just puts me in a state of calm.
Mm-hmm.
And I find joy in watching, different aspects of, the diaspora in these shows and, seeing myself in some of the people and things like that. So I do like to, binge watch the shows like that in my time when I'm not popping bubble wrap or doing word searches.
Yes, girl, and I can relate to that. Also, I haven't watched the Cosby Show in I don't know how long, but I've been watching a lot of Martin. A lot. I mean, not Martin. I'm sorry, Jamie Foxx. I've been watching a lot of Jamie Foxx lately. He be
Mhm.
cracking me up. I be needing that
Yeah.
because I be like, it's been a long day. So I
Yeah,
feel you on
yeah.
that. And
It'll
of
help
course,
you
people that look
help
like
you
us.
out.
So I mean,
You're
I
right,
know
right.
that's I mean, you gotta put that out there. you could host a special episode of The Messy Middle with any guest in the world, whether they're living today or unfortunately has passed, who would it be and what messy middle would you want to talk
That is a really good question. Um, I would probably want to interview someone like a Stevie Wonder
about? Ooh, yeah.
because Stevie Wonder has had, his own, struggles with, his disabilities and, all of that. And then becoming this super successful person throughout his entire life. And along the way, losing legends in the industry that he was close to and, having his own, personal struggles in between the time. So it would interest me to find out how he navigates that and how he pushes through because he's kind of like I don't want to say one of the last ones, but we're losing a lot of them and we're losing them kind of quickly. So I would want to talk to him when I had the chance and hopefully he could impart some wisdom upon us or at least me, trying to get through my own messy middle and maybe he can help me out a little bit. So that would be my choice.
Love that you chose Stevie Wonder. I mean, not that he didn't come. Well, he didn't come to my mind, but like, I think it's cool that you thinking of a legend who is definitely famous for who he is and what he has brought to the community in general. So I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So I want to move on to your work as a little bit, just a little bit of as a crisis counselor and mindfulness coach. What first drew you into crisis counseling and mindfulness coaching? Oh my God, y'all, my bad. What first drew you into crisis counseling and mindfulness coaching, and how have those two worlds shaped the way you show up for others?
So I wanted to go into the mental health field since I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we'll delve more into why later on. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's always kind of been a dream of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I went to college late in my life and well, that's not true. I went to junior college shortly after I graduated high school, but that it
Okay.
wasn't because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was there, I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. So I didn't finish. Later on in life, I decided that I really wanted to fulfill this dream of being in the mental health field. Um, so I decided to go back to school and get my degree and enter into the field of crisis counseling. Um, and I volunteered um, with an organization for about a year before I started working where I work now. But as far as what inspired me to do that, I would say life and personal experiences and having to navigate a lot of that, a lot of those experiences by myself. Um, and the loneliness that comes with that, having to navigate it on my own and figure it out on my own. I know that there are so many people out there who are dealing by themselves. And I guess I kind of wanted to be, somebody who didn't, who wanted them to feel like they weren't alone. Like there was somebody out there who understood at least a little bit of what they're going through. Um, and if I can't like give them, you know, correct like instructions or anything like that, I could at least be somebody who would listen. Because I know what it feels like to not have somebody to listen to me. Even now, so I want I'm saying, I guess I'm saying all of that to say I wanted to be the change that I needed, that I wanted to see in the world, and I'm trying to be who I needed when I was younger. So I guess
I
that's
like
a
that.
long way to answer that question.
Girl, that's a good way to answer that question. What you thought? I love that. No, you wanna be that person who you felt you needed when you were going through your hard times. And like you said, even today, even going through whatever process of life that you're going through, like it is nice for you to give back to the community, to whoever you may be working with. And I think that's a beautiful thing, girl. Because that's why, like I said, in a different live thing that I went on, but I could relate a lot because I didn't expect to go into social work at all. But I mean, my dad was a social worker. I was failing all my chemistry classes. Like being a doctor was not what God wanted me to be. So I'm like, I'll switch up, and I did. And yeah, I'm very, very proud of you and where you are in your journey. So I appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Yeah, and I come from I'm the youngest of three girls who come from educators. My both
Okay.
my parents are educators, so naturally they wanted me to be a teacher, and I'm like, nah, that's not
No, yeah, I just
absolutely not. Especially not inside of a classroom because I mean, one of the reasons is because have you seen how big these kids are? Like
yeah, yeah.
6-year-olds are 7 feet tall. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. All right.
and that was just not something that, I respect, of course, the profession, but that's just
Yeah.
not the route that I wanted to go. I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like I wanted to rebel. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have my own thing and be my own person and not do what everybody wanted me to do.
Or saying you should, being shooted on. Like I'm glad that you chose what is best for you, girl, because that shoulded on thing is real. Like, oh, I think you should do this, and that's like, but what if that's not on my heart to do that?
Right.
What if I feel God wants me to go a different direction?
Right.
So girl, snap crackle pop, girl. I'm just saying. Okay, number three. Question number three for the last section of a crisis counselor mindfulness coach. How do you personally practice mindfulness yourself when you're carrying the weight of other people's stories that you may hear?
Um, it's unless I'm helping someone with a story who is very similar to mine,
Mhm.
it's not that difficult for me to not take work home with me, so to speak, or to carry, you know, um, other people's stories with me. Even though I work in suicide and crisis prevention, it it can weigh on me when somebody who reaches out for help really doesn't want it or doesn't know what to do with it. And so a lot of times I do kind of carry that guilt when I can't help people when I want to. um but I'm slowly learning that I can't help everybody.
Right,
um
exactly.
I can't
Yeah,
help it.
that's
And
right.
even though my heart is in the right place, um, people people are gonna do what they want to do. And I can only do what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And there's limits to what I can do anyway. So I've just kind of I'm learning. It's a very difficult thing when you're an empath and you know what it's like to be in their shoes. um I want to help so bad, but there's only so much that I can do. So when I can't, I just have to, in those moments, just I do pray. I do journal. I listen to music.
Mhm.
Like I said, I pop the bubble wrap and I listen to my music and I watch my TV. And I call my family and, things like that. So
Mhm.
I try not to let it weigh too heavily on me. I'm doing a lot better now than I was when I first started. But I still have those days where, it gets heavy. But, I just
Yeah.
remember that I'm doing the very best that I can with what I'm able to do. So,
And that's really all you can do. You know that you're doing the work, but it's up to the person to take that in and realize what inner work that they need to do themselves over time. It may not happen within, I don't know, the first 3 weeks or even months, but maybe it just takes time, people longer than others to realize, have that realization for themselves.
yeah.
And some people it takes longer than that. It's like years to come, and that's okay. That's their own personal journey that they have to work through themselves. But just know that even though you may be in their life for a split season, someone else may be saying the exact same thing you said later on and it may click. So, you never know
Yes.
how powerful your words would be over time. So, girl, you're doing the work. You're doing the work. All right, on to the Messy Middle podcast, which I need to subscribe to your channel. um, and it is a YouTube channel, correct? Or is it like
So I'm on YouTube and I'm on Spotify and
ooh,
wherever else you get your podcast.
Spotify?
I'm
Girl,
on
I
other
gotta
places too. Yeah.
pay their subscription so I can find you
I can
on
give
there.
you the link.
Okay. Okay, I can look that up later. But anyways, let's get into the question. All right. I'm getting off task, y'all. Okay. The messy middle dives into, I'm sure, a lot of honesty and I'm sure unfiltered questions. Why do you think it's so important to talk about the in-between moments of
Because that's where a lot of us live.
life? Mm-hmm.
On a day to day, we are constantly trying to figure things out. We're transitioning from one place to another, and a lot of us, feel stuck, and a
Yeah.
lot of us don't really know where to go, what to do, or how to do it.
Yeah.
And those are, I think, moments that not a lot of people give voice to.
Mm.
We like to talk about healing, the healing journey, but we don't actually talk about the journey. We just talk
Exactly.
about what the healing is supposed to look like.
Yep.
We don't talk about the loneliness and we don't talk about the roller coaster that the journey actually is.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to discuss in my podcast, the moments where you're stuck in between, the in between moment.
Hmm. I like that.
So that's
Where
yeah.
did the title come from? The It's so interesting. I like it.
The title just popped into my head and it just made
Mhm.
sense, because it's literally you're stuck in between and it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
literal mess, like internally,
Yes.
mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything is scrambled.
Hmm.
And, it's like a maze where every turn you make, there's a pile of junk that you got to sift through.
Mm.
And you may not even sift through the whole thing, and you're still kind of able to make a little tiny hole to get to another space. And,
Yeah.
I guess that the middle can, the middle is, the middle can be filled with lessons
Ooh, yes.
on not necessarily how to get to the place of healing, but what you can do along the journey and how you can make it less stressful on yourself or just learn better ways to cope through the journey, because it's not about the destination. At the end of the day, it's about the journey, because you may not ever make it to the place of healing, that you don't, because you don't necessarily know what healing is actually supposed to look like. None of us know what healing is supposed to look like. it's different for everybody anyway. So the journey is, what it's about, and in each turn and each yield sign and red light and yellow light is a lesson at every stop. And even the lesson is messy, you know,
Yeah,
and how
true.
you're supposed to learn it is messy.
I get it. That's right. Yeah.
So it's all a big mess. So that's
I like that though. When you were talking, I was thinking, for a lot of people, sometimes we may know the beginning of the story and the end, but yeah, like you said, we don't know what the middle looks like. We tend to bypass all that. It kind of made me think of Steve Harvey. I don't know why he came in my head, but it's probably because I've been watching a lot of Steve Harvey, and he talks about his life and what he went through and how he was living the car and all this other stuff. Like we didn't know that what he went through. We just saw all the successes that looked so beautiful and well painted, but we didn't know all the, like you mentioned, messy in the middle that it was going on in between. So, ooh,
right.
that's a whole sermon right there. Whole sermon. Okay. Um, Question number two at the Messy Middle podcast. Has there been a particular guest or even conversation that shifted your perspective in a lasting way?
So I'm in the middle of the first season.
Okay.
Um, and I haven't had guests on this first season. It's kind of like
The first one.
a mini. Listen, we're gonna talk. Um,
Okay.
this
You
the
and
first
other friend. I'm like,
season,
we're gonna talk.
right? The first season is kind of like a mini season, just to kind of get my feet wet.
Okay.
Um, so there hasn't necessarily been a guest,
Okay.
but I guess what inspired, if I can answer it that way,
Yeah. Yeah. Go for it.
what inspired me to do it, while being on my own healing journey is, I follow a lot of coaches
Mm,
on social media who kind of talk about healing, like I said, but they don't talk a lot about what the journey looks like. They don't
yeah.
talk a lot about what the pitfalls are, and the roller coasters and the walls, and all of that. They don't necessarily dive deep into those things.
Yeah.
And I had questions, and I figured, what better way for me to kind of get those answers that I thought than to just kind of talk through what I was feeling and what I was thinking about, and maybe I would find the answers through, whatever it is I'm saying, because I don't necessarily have the answers, but,
True.
sometimes when I'm talking things out, things become more clear to me. And, maybe somebody who's stuck in the middle of the thing that I'm talking about, maybe they can find their own clarity.
True.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where that comes from.
No, I like that. I like how you describe that. And it comes from your own personal experience and hoping to bring light to others as well. Or just, I don't know, being real about your messy in the middle. And
Yeah,
hoping,
and that's what
yeah,
that is what it's about for
okay,
me, being transparent and
yes,
being open and authentic about the fact that I'm in this space.
yeah,
Sometimes I'm not okay. Sometimes it's messy and I need to talk about it.
mm-hmm,
Um, and maybe through me talking about it, someone who has been in this space before, is in this space now, can, like I said, find their own clarity, or,
mm-hmm,
be able to figure things out for themselves. Maybe they have some insight for me that they can give me, through
true,
what I'm talking about.
true,
So it's kind of a twofold situation.
mm-hmm,
I'm talking about the thing, but people can reach out to me and be like, "Hey, I have a suggestion."
mm-hmm,
I'm very open to that. you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very open to that.
I like
So
that. I like the twofold thing too, because I mean, there's been interviews when I was interviewed in the past, and then I'm learning something from the other individual, and I like that a lot because it's not just me speaking wisdom to others. Maybe they have something that I never thought of myself, and have me like, oh, okay, you reflect and process this.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to your book, The Weight of Life. That is the name of it, right?
Yes,
The
that is
Weight
the
of
name of
Life.
it.
All right. Your upcoming book explores, I'm guessing, the tension of carrying both pain and possibility. Can you share a moment from your own life that inspired this theme?
The moment that, well, it's kind of a culmination of moments, but the big moment
Okay.
was my past relationship
Okay.
and realizing what I had actually been through,
Mm-hmm.
um and coming to terms with it and being honest about the role that I played in it,
Yeah.
and navigating through, you know, the heartbreak and trying to understand, it was because it was kind of abusive, not kind of,
Okay.
but that's what it was, but
Yeah.
and I had never been in that kind of situation before.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's just me figuring everything out and trying to understand, why they did what they did and why I allowed certain things to, continue, and why I didn't say things and why I didn't leave earlier, and the the healing and the work that I had to do on myself after all of that happened that had nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that so much of what I I was in that situation because of things that I had dealt with or didn't deal with in my childhood that I was not even aware of until I went through this situation. So, and then, coming out of it, still learning lessons, still healing, um, but seeing that there's so much more than just that situation and that relationship and that hardship, and um there's so much more to life than just, I don't want to make light of wanting to be loved, because
Right.
that's one of
God is love.
everybody's greatest desires. Like,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
sometimes I want that more than I want air, but
So you understand? No, I feel
I'm
how
just
real
being
that
real,
is.
like, just, but just realizing that there's so much more that I could be doing and seeking
Yeah.
and living, that I can still, that would give me the same kind of feeling that,
Mm-hmm.
a partner could give me.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that I have to, find ways for myself to feel those feelings, and give
Mm-hmm.
me, I have to give what I'm looking for from another to myself,
Exactly. Yeah.
and figuring out how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um so it's a navigation, it's a journey from, you know, heartbreak and abandonment to, I know what this is now, I know who I am now, and I know how to move better now.
I
So,
like
yeah.
how transparent you was about that. I know in my late teens, early 20, middle 20s, I was going through a transition from also dating someone who did not treat me with the respect I think I deserve. Thank God I'm out of that, but it's like after that, I feel like relationship after relationship was failing because I went through that particular situation. But also, like you said, not really realizing who I was, and honestly wasn't even having confidence in myself as a woman who I know that I'm very beautiful, but it took me a long time to see that, and to realize that for myself, not just hearing it from other people, as well. So I do think the inner work is definitely important. And I just got done watching The One. Kurt Franklin, I guess, and his wife made a show. I don't know if it's old or new, but it was on Tubi TV, and I recently watched it. And it still had me like reflecting on like, oh, where I used to be to where I am today, and I'm just a completely different person now.
Mm-hmm.
Not like changing for anybody, but more so of knowing my worth and
Yes.
yeah, on who I am. So, girl, I'm gonna have to cop that book because where can I
Well,
find
please
it?
do. It comes out October 7th.
Okay, where is it, on Amazon
Yes.
or okay? Yeah, I'm gonna have to cop that book because yeah. So as soon as I type that in, I better see it on October 7th. I'm gonna
You
like,
can
where's she at?
pre-order it on Kindle now. So
Oh, I can. Okay, on Kindle. Okay, we'll scroll through it. I guess I'm the type of I like the type of person who likes to have the physical copy of it, just because like otherwise, girl, I'd be like, oh, I got it on my thing, and then forget it's there. Like, oops. So I'm with the physical copy. But thank you. I don't like. Yeah, I want to know more about your story and also what I can still learn from today myself. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So writing about healing and resilience can be obviously very vulnerable. Like, how do you protect your own peace while telling such deep stories?
This might sound counterproductive,
Okay.
but being transparent about what I'm going through or what I've been through actually gives me peace
Mm,
because
okay.
I carry it around so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm alone and I don't really have many people to talk to, lean on, so forth and so on. So the moments when I am able to be this transparent, it frees me.
Yeah.
So being transparent does give me peace, but I think that I'm able to maintain that peace when I'm able to know that what I've been transparent about was able to help somebody else. Or to help them feel seen or, whatever it is, just to help somebody.
Yeah.
That fulfills me. And that was the reason why I wrote the book in the first place. That's why I'm a crisis counselor. That's why I'm a coach. I want to help people feel seen.
Like,
Um, and to help people, navigate what they're going through and know that they're not alone in it. That
that's
that
yeah.
is peace to me.
Hmm.
So,
That's that's big on, I guess, the thing I'm trying to build is letting people know that you're not alone in general. Maybe you may have been a little alone on your journey for a minute, but you're not alone on what you have been through.
right.
Hopefully they have somebody to go to, whether it's a friend or somebody, but not everybody have that, which is why I love that you have the podcast the messy middle, and such, so that people can hear from someone else who's going through similar situations at the end of the day. I just think that's very courageous. Ah, that's the word. It's very courageous of you. I'm like, what am I trying to say? Yeah, yeah. I give you some more than brownie points. You want some tacos? I don't know, but I'm just giving you a lot of points here because I commend you for that. And I know that's very hard to be real. It's hard for anybody to open up about, yeah, this is what I've been through. So,
Mhm.
girl, Jamila, girl, woo, yes, let's go. Okay. On joy, stress relief, in everyday life, you shared that you find um joy. Lost my train of thought. And little things like popping bubbles or doing word puzzles. How do those small joys connect back to your bigger message of resilience?
Oh, that's a good question.
Girl.
That is a good question. Um, I guess for me, like, I don't really know personally a lot of people who find joy in doing stuff like word searches. You know, I'm in my 40s. And okay, girl, we can
I do like first searches. I'm like,
okay.
too.
You
Every
know,
time.
I will get a book if I gotta go out of town. I'll get a book and I will do the word searches on the plane or in the car or wherever I am.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of ties back to my, I guess, a bit of my authenticity because I've
Mm-hmm.
been that way since I was a kid and I never lost it.
That's
And
good.
I don't really have a desire to.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that kind of makes me, an individual, and so
Yeah.
I guess that's how it ties back. I don't really think that any other, you know, way, I don't think of any other way that it really does tie back other than to just say, if there's something about yourself that you've held on to that is actually good and authentic and wholesome or whatever it is that makes you who you are, hold
Yeah.
on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't it doesn't matter what people say or how people feel about it. It's what makes you you, and keep doing it for as long as you feel like doing it.
Tapping into that inner child, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Because I know I have a lot of, and I mean, I've been doing Zumba lately because I grew up. I like to dance. I'm not a professional dancer, but I just like to be like, hey, I like to dance a lot. So I've been that to me is my inner child because I'm like having a good time. Don't know what I'm doing with the salsa or whatever, but I'm having girl. It
That's
feels
all that
like
matters as long as you're
yep,
having a good
yep,
time.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, and also loving the wholesome of me too. So
Yeah.
yeah, appreciate you for saying that. What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in a survival mode and hasn't found their small joys yet?
I would just advise them to, number one, know that they're not alone, of course.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, Getting unstuck is kind of something that, in a way, you have to force yourself to do. Um, you have to make a decision that if you feel stuck and you don't want to be stuck, you have to make a decision. I don't want to feel this way. That is the beginning of everything as far as the transformation is concerned. I think that if you are able to say out loud, I feel stuck and I don't want to feel this way, the answers might not rain down on you immediately after that, but you will at least feel free enough to know the knowing that you can get unstuck will come over you. The how will come at some point. It'll come along the way. Um, be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Please give yourself grace because the messy middle is not, it's hard. And you'll have moments where you will just come down on yourself for even feeling down or feeling bad or whatever, and you'll have moments of, I shouldn't feel this way. Yes, you
Mhm.
should. You feel however you need to feel for however long you need to feel it, because you're human.
Exactly. Mhm.
um so give yourself grace, but also get up. Get up. And even if
Yep.
it's just one simple thing a day that you may not have ever done or you're not used to doing, but you want to try,
Mm-hmm.
Try it. And then maybe that can become the thing that, will help you get unstuck.
Yes.
It's like with writing, right? In writer's block. It sounds counterproductive, but when
Mm-hmm.
people ask me how do I get rid of writer's block? I write about
Mm-hmm.
writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
I say I'm stuck. I don't know what to say, and the more I write about that, I get unstuck. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to give yourself permission to say that you're stuck, that you don't necessarily want to be stuck, and then you have to take one doesn't matter how big or small it is. Take one step and you can run a marathon with just that one step.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. One step is all you're really need to do to get to your step closer to wherever I guess you need to be, honestly.
yeah.
So, girl,
And even
preach.
not necessarily where you need to be, but just further along from where you were.
True. Very true. Yeah, I agree. If I had a 100 thing I can put on here, if I had a media person to help me out to make this better, I could do that. But I ain't got that right now. So, anyway, where do you see your work in writing, podcasting, and coaching heading in the next few years? Just thinking ahead of what your vision may be.
um, I see it continuing to expand.
Okay.
At least that's my prayer. You know,
Yeah.
I've kind of been at this writing slash coaching thing for a while now.
Okay.
Um, and it hasn't quite gone the way that I envisioned it in terms of
Okay.
support and all of that.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is a messy middle because I have stopped and quit writing and coaching more than once because I've gotten frustrated with the process.
Yeah.
Um, so where do I see it going in the future? I just want to keep going without worrying about the outcome.
Have fun with it. Yeah.
Have fun with it, make sure that I'm coming from a an authentic
Hmm.
place,
Yes.
and keep in mind that whoever is meant to consume the content will do so. And
Hmm.
however long that takes is however long it's going to take. And there's nothing that I can really do about it other than to keep going.
Hmm.
Um, but I do want all of the pieces to weave together. So I want my coaching to, intertwine with the podcast and mix a little crisis counseling in, with all of that. I want it all to mix at some point,
Yeah.
in some kind of way.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out, the messy middle, but
Yep.
um, that's what I want. That's what I've always envisioned, to have my coaching and my writing marry and come together. So,
Mm.
um, if
And
I
in
could
due
do that,
time, it
this is
surely
that.
will. Some things just a little slower than others. I mean, I can feel you on that. I relate to you 100%, but I keep seeing what God showed me and I can't stop. So I think that's what pushes me a lot. And I'm like, nope, just keep going. Nope, you don't have X amount of subscribers now, but at the end of the day, at least you know you are being yourself and I'm not
Yeah,
changing for nobody. So
that's the thing. It's like that is the thing that keeps me, I guess, even though I've stopped several
mm-hmm,
times, I've always come back to it because there's something in it that clearly is pulling me and is clearly calling me,
mm-hmm,
and I gotta see it through because is clearly something that I'm supposed to do.
Yes. Amen.
And I may not know exactly what that is yet, or what the outcome is supposed to be, but
Hmm.
the journey, the messy middle, it will come in time. I'll figure it out. It'll
And
make
then
it
you can write a book about that later and be like,
There you go.
I'll see for him. Oh, she finally did it, y'all. Oh, go get a copy.
Yeah.
uh, but first we're gonna focus on her the weight of life. Uh, first we're gonna focus on that one. As far as people getting a copy of that first, okay, don't forget. I'm gonna put the spotlight on you because I have three more questions for you, and then we'll be done for today, anyways.
Okay.
What do oh, hold on, girl, my computer acting a fool. What does walking through life mean to you in your own words?
Walking through life. Walking through life is just it's really the journey. It's every day deciding to face whatever is to come
Mm-hmm.
and to reflect and take the time to learn the lesson of whatever the day was supposed to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just deciding to do that every day. That
Mm-hmm.
to me is what walking through life is.
Walking through life. Is there a quote, affirmation, anything that you live by that you want to share with the audience today?
There is a quote that I want to be able to get.
Okay.
I don't know this woman's name though. Okay, I think I got it.
Okay.
Her name is Irma Bombeck.
Okay.
And her quote is, "When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say I used everything you gave me."
Ooh, spices.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, actually. Okay, that's real deep. It's like you did it all. Good job. Well done.
Yeah. Good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, you might send that to me. I might put that on my laptop somewhere. I can save
Like
it.
I
I'm like,
always knew the quote, but I never
okay,
knew
you
who
good.
said it.
Okay.
Or I knew who said it, but I didn't I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know. I know that doesn't make any sense, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, you good. You good. All right. One last question, and girl, I'm gonna let you. But don't log off yet. But one more last question, and then we done. We done, yo. I'll do my outro. But if you could leave one lasting message with the either people or families you serve, what do you think that would be?
Um, I would I would say that you don't have to hide inside of what you have been through in order to overcome it. Um, you're allowed to, take up space even when you're healing. Um, and you're allowed to honor your journey and your story without being ashamed of it or feeling shame. Um, you're not broken beyond repair, and you don't have to prove um who you are or your worth to anyone in order to be loved or in order to serve a purpose or to be important, because you just are, because you exist. So
are important
that's a
too.
number of messages in that one message, but
Yeah. That's
that's what
okay.
I was saying.
That's okay. That's all right. It's all good, girl. Anyways, let me get us up out of here so they can go about their day. Thank you so much, Jamila, for sharing your incredible story, your journey, the messy middle with us. What an incredible conversation that we had today, y'all. Don't forget to cop that book. Okay, remember the weight of light. When is it coming out, Jamila? What day?
It's coming out October 7th, but you can pre-order on Kindle now.
Yes.
Amazon.
Pre-order, y'all. Scroll, scroll. Okay. Um, Today, Jamila's wisdom on healing the messy middle, finding joy in small things, and holding both pain and possibility has truly inspired us all. But now it's your turn, people. Transformational Tuesday. You ready to share your story? You ready to share what you have to give to this world? Uh, Please let me put transform in the comments and let me know. But it's about giving women just like you a chance to share your story and inspires others. And if you, like I said, if you simply want to join me on here, type transform below or send me a message, and I'll be happy to connect with you soon. As I'm excited to announce again about my women's webinar that's coming up. Y'all, I am changing that date. Originally, I said it was in October. Stay tuned for more details. It'll be in March 2026. It will feature more authentic conversations, just like we had today, y'all. And I'm super excited about it. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to stay tuned for what's to come in your future. And remember, let's continue this journey of empowerment and transformation together, y'all. Bye.